Here are 50 amazing physics facts. Space has a smell. It's been described as a mix between barbecued meat, hot metal, and fuel. The Super Soaker was invented by a NASA scientist. The Eiffel Tower is 15 centimeters taller in summer than winter. This is because of thermal expansion, where the extra heat causes the metal to expand. If the red supergiant Betelgeuse exploded into a supernova, it would light our skies for 2 months straight. This could happen anytime, within 1,000 years, tomorrow, or even now. Scientists from Mexico have successfully made diamonds from tequila. If you removed all of the empty space from the atoms that make up all of the humans on Earth, the remaining mass could fit inside a sugar cube. Looking at stars is basically looking into the past because of how long it takes the light from them to reach us. Tesla was obsessed with creating a death ray, which he claimed to have created before he died. He also hated shaking hands with people, had OCD, and fell in love with a pigeon. Splendor was discovered when a scientist misheard his co-worker saying test this chemical. He thought he said taste this chemical. Humans can only physically see 2 dimensions, left and right and up and down. The third dimension, depth or forward and backward, is a perception our brain creates from 2 2D images. You can't burp in space because there's no gravity to separate liquid from gas in your stomach. When NASA landed on Mars, 3 men from Yemen sued them for trespassing, claiming that they had inherited the planet from their ancestors. The world's roundest object is a silicon sphere crafted in Australia and may become the new definition of the kilogram. Sound waves at ultrasonic frequencies can levitate objects in what's known as acoustic levitation. Isaac Newton once shoved a needle into his eye to see if it would affect his vision. If you put Saturn in water, it would float. If you shuffle a pack of cards properly, chances are that that exact order has never been seen before in the entire history of the universe. Because of the dangerous nature of their jobs, the Apollo astronauts couldn't apply for life insurance. Instead, they signed a pile of autographs, hoping that they'd become valuable if they died. The sky is blue because molecules in the air scatter blue light more than the other colors of light. The blue light bounces off those molecules and hits your eyes, making you see blue. A physicist named Jack Hetherington made his cat the co-author of a paper because he'd accidentally written "we" instead of "I" throughout the paper and couldn't be bothered changing it. When helium is cooled to almost absolute zero, it becomes what's known as a superfluid. It flows against gravity, creeping up and over the side of its containers. All black holes have a point of no return called the event horizon. Anything that passes beyond this point gets sucked in and is lost forever, even light. If you were to get sucked into a black hole, your body would be stretched out in a process scientifically called spaghettification. Richard Feynman used to go to strip clubs to do work on quantum mechanics. Lightning can reach temperatures 5 times that of the surface of the sun. Homing pigeons can't navigate on Mercury because of the lack of magnetic field and atmosphere. Sunlight reflects off water at the same angle it shines onto it. Mars's 2 moons are named Phobos and Deimos, literally translating to fear and panic. The highest temperature ever reached on Earth was 4 trillion degrees Celsius. This was at the quark-gluon plasma. This was at the quark-gluon plasma at Brookhaven. If you cry in space, the tears just stick to your face. Oh, a rhyme. Quantum computers use the spin of an electron to store information called quantum bits. This allows them to perform complex calculations way faster than classical computers. William Herschel, the astronomer who discovered Uranus, actually named it George after King George III. It was later renamed after the Greek god of the sky, Uranus. The amount of heat in the Earth's atmosphere is equal to the amount of heat in the first 10 feet of the ocean. Werner Heisenberg, who is famous for his uncertainty equations in quantum physics, nearly failed his doctoral exams because he knew nothing about experimental techniques. When he was asked how a battery worked, he had no idea. There's a giant gas cloud in the constellation of Aquila that contains enough alcohol to make 400 trillion pints of beer. Tesla is on the front of Serbia's 100 dinar banknote. The Big Bang Theory was invented by a Catholic priest. The first man on the moon, Neil Armstrong, actually got the famous moon landing line wrong. He said, "1 step for man, 1 giant leap for mankind." It should have been 1 step for a man, 1 giant leap for mankind. A bolt of lightning has enough energy to toast 100,000 slices of bread. The electrical force is about a billion times stronger than gravity. If you were standing at arm's length from someone and each of you had 1% more electrons than protons, the repelling force created would be enough to lift a weight equal to the entire Earth. The physicist Thomas Young did an experiment which proved that light was a wave. About 100 years later, Einstein did an experiment that proved that light was a particle. Light is actually both a particle and a wave, depending on how you're looking at it. This is called wave-particle duality. There's a planet where it rains glass sideways. According to the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, we can't know the exact position and momentum of a particle at the same time. Your head is older than your feet. According to Einstein's theory of relativity, time moves faster the further away you are from the Earth, meaning that unless you spend a lot of time upside down, your head ages slightly faster than your feet. It takes a photon about 170,000 years to travel from the core of the sun to the surface of the sun, and then just another 8 minutes to travel from the surface of the sun to your eyes. Hardness is different to toughness. Hardness is a material's ability to resist being deformed, while toughness relates to how much energy a material can absorb before breaking. The sun makes up more than 99% of the entire mass of the solar system. There's a particle with the exact same mass and charge as an electron, except that it's positive. It's suitably called a positron. The coolest star, temperature-wise, ever discovered was made entirely out of diamonds and contains 10 billion trillion carats. If you hold up a grain of sand, the patch of sky it covers contains 10,000 galaxies. Light doesn't need a medium to travel in, but sound does. This means that there would be no sound in space, as space is just one giant vacuum. And that was 50 physics facts. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more physics videos like this one. If you found a fact particularly interesting and would like for me to do an entire video about it, please let me know in the comments below. Also, do you know any cool facts that you think should have been in that list? I'd love to hear about that as well. Yeah, that's all from me for now. See you soon.